is open, but they go with the Rizzler. So they're going to put that into the hands of Hybridi, which, by the way, signs of life from game number 2, right? Game number 1, Hybridi was almost unnecessarily aggressive. In game number 2, she definitely put her best foot forward. Now maybe she's heating up and she gets to pick up a solid hero. The answer from Omega Empress, of course, the Edith, still a solid flex, and they're not wasting any time. Keishi, pick up the Julian.
So you don't think that this Julian could be flex at all in this current meta?
You could say that, but I think the Julian is just so much more effective in the jungle because you could count in one hand the number of players who can play a Julian mid solid.
That's true. And Keishi's such a versatile player, right? When it comes down to it, she can pick up these kinds of heroes. She can pick up the assassins. She can pick up the junglers. And I'm wondering if at some point of our shift that we're gonna get more fighters in the jungle or something crazy like a Bane in the gold lane.
Hey, you said the B word. That's
I'm sorry.
Don't excite me too much.
I'm sorry.
But here's a B word that I think DMXG appreciates. Is still left open. The Baksha, right? So you put that into the hands of Angelis. It's a signature pick for her. And then, all right, you put Aslan on the Moskov again.
Okay.
Again, it works. They're relying on what they're comfortable with, but we don't know yet what is going to the hands of La La Land. So with that said, I'm not gonna call it just yet. Like I'm open to options.
But the Vexana gets taken here by Smart Omega Empress.
And then they're gonna ban the Val.
So, let's think about it. Zuxin's banned out, Vexana taken. If Valentina gets banned here, what are our options? We've seen an Aurora being played yesterday. Is that a good source of damage that can aid Aslan?
I guess, but it's not the kind of hero you want to see on La La Land. It's a very one and done kind of hero. It's a very, okay, I'm ready or I'm not ready. I don't know if the Lilia, Nana?
Kagura?
She showed up a few times already in MWI. There's a hero we didn't see get banned out and we didn't call out to, the Lu Yi. All right, that's a La La Land hero. That's a hero that I think she would do well with because, again, the potential to just spam all the damage. But, yeah, if the Val doesn't get banned out here, Omega Empress is ready to play with that. They're ready to open it up and counter it one way or another.
And that's definitely something that is a good pick, a good priority for DMX right now, right? Seeing as you have the Vexana on the other side, you also have the Edith on the other side, and there we go. Out the window, Valentina gets eliminated.
Fundamentally speaking, that was the right call.
So, what about DMX now? Xborg eliminated. Is CC going to be next? It looks like they're trying to protect this Terizla, trying to give Terizla a better lane. Do you think Arlet maybe would be the choice?
Arlet and Pac. Those are the other XP laners that you want to lock out. And we don't even know really if this is going to be a XP lane or a roam Edith. So either way, Omega Empress can just, pivot. They can just switch it up, which is what makes such a red side pick solid. Like, you're still very flexible.
Claude. Claude is the answer now.
They're attacking Shinoa.
Okay.
Shinoa still has a carry. Shinoa still has a Harith. And I actually like the Harith. But that might be magic damage overload, so I would suggest stick to the carry.
Carry.
Yep. Especially of a Terizla and a Baksha. Yeah.
Okay, so Edith is going to be flexed into the EXP lane.
There it is.
That's for sure. And now with that flexibility now, DMX, they have to figure out a way to close it out. And again, we were talking so much about the mid lane, how to help Aslan in the gold lane as one of the core damage dealers.
Yep.
Nana, Aurora, Kagura.
Yep.
It couldn't be anything crazy like a Xavier. Zask is an option.
Zask, we haven't seen DMX girls pick up the Zask, yes. But we did see Zask a handful of times already in day 1 and today alone. But I don't think it's the right kind of damage. It is a slow DOT, it's a tick damage. This I like. I don't know how we forgot about Farsa. There she is. The blind birdie mage.
Carry. You called it.
There it is.
Shinoa pickup on the carry, but I understand the importance of that burst damage from DMX with the Farsa pickup, but this Farsa is going to have to deal in with so much CC and dive. Right? You have the Julian, you also have the Lolita, you have the Vexana knockups.
And the Edith.
Earth Shatter. What do you think?
I like DMX's odds here. The fact that they adjusted and they're doing good homework to have coverage now compared to how dive heavy they were and very 4-1 from their first series. But let's not forget, this is still Smart Omega they're playing.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to throw it over to our casters for the opening game in this series. Let's have it.
What's up, guys? My name's Mirko. Key-Boy!
You mean G-Boy? No,
G-Boy.
G-Boy's not playing either, but...
Just kidding, guys. It's Trex here, along with Leo. Jumping on the desk now for these last two. Jumping on the desk for these last two series. It's been a long day. DreamX Girls up against Smart Omega Empress. Now Naisu. DreamX Girls on the edge right now, and it's been so sad. I love how Eterna put it. The longer you stay for these games, the more teams you have to see go home, and right now, they're on the edge. Can they compete against the Filipinos?
Well, I think so. You know, I guess you hope that they made a quick enough adjustment from what they just went through in their previous match, of course, because, you know, I know there wasn't like a format video for this, but this is also brutal and legendary, man. Like, I mean, the whole MWI format itself, quite interesting on how this has all been playing a part, especially now that we're nearly done with groups. And like they mentioned on the panel stand too, you know, some of the information going out there, of course. I just want to say congratulations, C9. They made it through. You're feeling pretty good about it.
I'm feeling pretty good, but we're not here for that right now, Naisu. We're here for this pick that I want to point out right here. We got the Moskov. We also have the Farza in here. Two picks that haven't really been popular so far in the group stage, especially for me. It was so... Wait a second, a little bit of damage.
All the damage be coming out, but as you were saying.
Yeah, the Moskov hasn't been a really popular pick in the MWI so far, which to me was kind of surprising because Moskov was hugely favored in MSC. He was a game changer throughout tournaments, but he can be risky, right? You really got to be able to know how to keep your distance. You got to know how to move. You got to know how to groove, and you got to be able to farm to get to that point where he can pop off. And with how aggressive some of these girl teams have been, it might not be the answer for that early game aggression that they want to bring. So DreamX Girls this time going for a bit more of a front-to-back classic utility jungle, and they have a lot of late game potential with the Farza and the Moskov, so let's see if they can pull it off.
Murray already go in, start the fight, but a penalty zone comes in from Hybridy. They're gonna have to fight it off once again. Murray will flicker out. Still, Turtle for the taking here. A lot of ultimates expended. DreamX Girls once again with onward into the Earth Shatter, but Kyria gonna flicker out. Won't be enough though as Amore picks up a kill. First blood. Still, once again, Turtle will reset. Not sure if Hybridy can actually keep them at bay, but that is going to be it. Keshi will go ahead and grab that turtle.
Omega Empress able to take a little bit of a lead here, almost 1,000 gold already. We're about to be 3 minutes in. Aslan holding his own though, and I think as long as Aslan can hold her own, things are possible for DreamX. The game's still in their hands, and we're still early on. We have this, we have the Lolita pick. Here comes Anumi on.
Angelus, yeah, she's going to roll on out, so she's fine. Feathered Airstrike also from La La Land, but yeah, I think that's the point, you know. Aslan, she's got to go ahead and just farm up because she picked this also in the previous matchup that they had, and, you know, she has some good placements and positioning with the Moskov pick, but I think, you know, the work is still going to be there, especially with the lineup that they have. Hopefully she can land the proper Spear of Destructions. You know, that's part of it. You kind of have to be like an Olympic level spear thrower, javelin thrower when you lock in the Moskov here.
Long distance spears. I actually used to compete in that in high school.
Did you?
No. Let's look at these items though. Moskov falling a little bit below. In the jungle is something I want to point out here. Angelus keeping up right now with the Julian, and this is one of the few utility junglers that we actually see that's essentially still pretty viable, the Basha. And I think having the Farza as this more of backline, stable, feathered airstrike, you know, just stable damage dealer, very positional. It's going to be important to have this utility jungler that can kind of help out with Hybridy.
Whoa. Look at the damage. Penalty zone are going to be used, luckily for the body of Smith. Hybridy doesn't go down just yet. Feathered airstrike also. Keshi will go down, and now next on the chopping block, not a Yanami, but she gets taken out by Angelus. What a response from DMG.
Beautiful response. I mean, Smart Omega Empress felt like they had it. They are going to be able to get a lot of gold plating here, possibly a tower, but still DreamX Girls showing that maybe they were just, maybe they were just getting some of the rust off in the last series. They're showing that they do still have some mechanics, some things to play. Aslan getting some gold plating for himself in the mid side, and the rest of DMX sitting here helping out.
Okay. Again, if it wasn't for that passive with the Therese of the body of Smith, Hybrid would have gone down, but this flips things in their favor, at least for now. A little bit of momentum to work with. Onward in, they go in, and now once again, Courier going to be taken out now. Hybrid, Angelus will go ahead and get the turtle. They're on the retreat here. Keisha also there, but the damage just isn't enough. Murray gonna jump in, gets the stun on La La Land, and Primal Wrath already gonna be used as well, but not Ayanami might be in trouble here. 2 tanks unleashing on her, but she gets back into the form and she'll be all right. So once again, 1-1 for the objectives here, the Turtles for both teams.
2-2 in kills, 1-1 in objectives. It's feeling pretty even. Smart Omega Empress, they are holding a little bit of a gold lead, but still the game could go either way. Now, I do want to say, the longer this game goes, I do feel like DreamHack girls start to gain maybe a little bit of momentum, a little bit of an advantage, especially with the Moskov. Yes, Smart Omega Empress does have a lot of late game potential having this carry, but I think after time, the Julian will start to become a little less effective. We'll start to become a little more of a CC utility than exactly just straight burst damage. Something that Smart Omega does have going for him, we just saw a little bit of it from Mireille, was that Numion Blast. We even saw a little bit of a sidestep there, a little bit of that flicker to make sure we get the stun in. Taking a look at some of these items right now, Julian has the wand in, able to start stacking up, get more penetration on the other side of the jungle. We have we have a little bit of burn. We have the radiant armor, a little bit of defense to help deal, especially deal with the Edith whenever the primal form comes in. So a little bit of possibilities though.
Oh, and we'll talk about the burst. Spear of Destruction going to be used. Aslan joins the fight in the mid lane. Nana Yanamami will go down, and now Eternal Guard going to be dropped. But Keishi gets out. Man, the battle once again. Murray could be left alone. She's fine though, quite tanky. And as you were talking about the items, I think she is going with Flask of the Oasis first item, helping out with the shields, of course, for the team. Turtle's going to spawn, though. Third one now for the game, but that top turret will be taken out by Hybrid.
You know what I just noticed? The lettering for DreamX, it's DMX, man. Are you a DMX fan? Rough Riders?
Rough Riders?
Rough Riders. And they're going to try to ride on through, try to get this dub. And they're actually, I feel like after seeing some of the moments of the last series, DreamX girls are definitely stepping up their game. We knew that La La Land was going to perform, but now the rest of the team is starting to perform. It feels like the whole team is actually working as a team this time and keeping up with the Pinoys, with the Philippines, with Smart Omega Empress, a favorite, but here we go.
Look at the damage, and once again, Keria has no time to even pop the implosion. She's just deleted, and again, this is the interaction with that Julian pick, already able to just burst people down. Turtle secured here for Smart Omega Empress. And once again, they'll make their way now down the bottom side, looking to get these turrets down, because you already saw, you know, DreamHack girls are doing a pretty good job to the macro level, putting pressure on these side lanes, putting pressure even on that tier 2 turret. They got a little bit of damage up here on the top side, so Omega Empress is gonna have to deal with kind of keeping that under control, of course, you know, at this point. But so far, the fact that they've been able to get these objectives, they get themselves a very minor lead ahead. But this is where the items also start to fall in place, you know, once we get to that mid-game.
Yeah, Glowing Wand just gets secured for Shanoa. It's going to be huge. Start making sure that passive gets procced quicker and quicker and quicker. And look at Shanoa even. I love the movement across the map now.
Oh, wow. What a throw. I'm not sure if Shanoa is going to be able to escape. Aslan will go ahead and get a kill, and now fighting off with not Aniyami. The rest of the team going to try to get here in time. Aslan running for her life, but she will get taken down by Amore. And now Neural Blast charged up, finds a couple of targets. Amore trying to stay alive, but Angelus will pick up the kill. Eternal Guard there on the front side, but they've lost the damage. But hold on, Keshi looking for another possible. We'll find Hybrid. And that's a pickup once again. Smart Omega Empress still going for more. Onward into the air shadow, but the feathered airstrike enough to cover down the line. Murray will fall, and now it's Angelus. A bloodbath here on the top side.
So I think that ends up an even 3 for 3. I think it ends up an even 3 for 3 overall. That was a long fight. Aslan with, as you said, the Olympic throw spear to help at least secure the kill and
She's got an arm.
Down Shanoa. She definitely has an arm. And speaking of the marksman, let's take a look at some of these items. Shanoa already has, we got Golden Staff, we have Corrosion Scythe, and it looks like we're going into a possible Rose Gold a little bit early on maybe, or at least building the first half of it, and then maybe switching over to DHS. Kind of depends, but building the first half is still, you get a little bit of a passive there, you get that little bit of shield, gives you a little bit of sustainability, but Aslan...
Oh no, Aslan, Numino Blast already going to be dropped down, and there's too many light wheels as Aslan will fall. Great decisive decision, pick off there in the bottom side. They're going to get the turret too, and in mid lane, Turtle Guard already dropped down, and Keria has not been able to pop the implosion multiple times at this point. She's struggling on this pick.
You know, Smart Omega right now, following the typical go-to of what you see in so many great Filipino teams. We don't have to win early on. We can wait for that first Lord. We can wait till that big mid-game 8 to 10 minute spike and then pop off. And as DreamHack girls, the game starts to move on. They seem to be a bit more spread apart. They seem to be a bit more prone to getting picked off. And Smart Omega was just getting started in the beginning, and now we're starting to see them kind of catch that groove. They've got a Lord. They found a couple extra kills. They've taken about a 3K gold lead. DHS finally locked in for Shinoa. So yes, just built the first half of the Rose Gold to get the passive, be a bit more sustainable, and then finishes out DHS. An interesting item build that you don't see all the time, but definitely is going to work out, especially on a carry who wants to get up close and personal, who wants to be ready to fight.
Not only that, but also you have the advantage of, you know, relying on this Lolita to kind of set things up for you with the Numino Blast. You, of course, have the shields in consideration, too. So there's a lot to kind of play around with. And right now, they're going to march in with this Lord. It's top side. Winner's Crown also picked up here. They might try to push in for more. Keria, if this is her time, it's time to get an implosion to set things up. Aslan also picks up the DHS. The shields will be popped. The turrets still stand, though. Right now, Smart Omega Empress still looking to set their eyes possibly on that tier 2 in the bottom side.
All right, so 4.2K gold lead. Smart Omega still not rushing it, playing it patient. They got the Lord push. Should easily be able to take this unless DreamHack girls really want to try to force it. But look at Shinoa just shredding. Just a couple more hits, should be gone. Taking a lot of shots to the face from Aslan, though. The passive getting through, definitely even still doing damage without the direct hits. Back to these items, we've covered on these gold laners. Tanks, Flask of Oasis is locked in for Murray now. Oracle as well. Shinoa just finished out the Rose Gold Meteor. Wondering what the last item is going to be. If it's going to be maybe something defensive like the Immortality. Do you go for Wind of Nature? You know, something along those lines. Something to, you know, the juggling item, right? Yeah. In terms of jungler, Winter Crown just locked in for Keshi. It's going to make him even more sustainable, even more possible to go for these dives. So now the Smart Omega has starting to get that balance with aggressiveness and sustainability. It's going to become even more of a problem for DreamHack girls.
Ooh, Genius Wand also picked up here by Amore. So she's going to be able to provide a lot, even if it's just, all right, we dropped the Eternal Guard down. That can help, especially with Keshi. You can see the damage potential already. You know, this is the thing we've been seeing so far. Whenever Julian's locked in, the damage is great alone, but once you start to pair it up with a mid lane that either or picks up that Genius Wand and gets that magic resistance down, that's where you see these burst potentials, and that's why, again, Keria, she hasn't been able to pop up any game-changing or team fight-changing implosion ultimates with this Tigreal pick. Right now, Conceal going to be used. They don't spawn anything, though. Interesting.
I think it's just to get some ground, right? Just to maybe claim back a little bit of land. Just try to figure out exactly where they are. DreamHack girls also not like overreaching. Some of the problems in the previous games you guys said was, you know, trying to pick too many fights all the time. And this time they are kind of taking a bit slow. And I think having La La Land on the Farza gives them some range.
There's Keria. Goes in with the implosion, finds multiple members as Keshi will fall. A double kill for Hybridy. And now under the turret, Shinoa's taken care of too. DreamHack girls are changing it around, turning it around. And they will keep Smart Omega Empress at bay. This is their time to take the Lord, take the objective. But can Murray and not Ayanami do anything about it? It looks like they can't. A massive swing here for DreamHack girls.
A massive swing, a massive play, and a massive implosion at that. Let's take a look at the replay. A beautiful flicker, and what's his name gets pulled in, and then the combo with the penalty zone. Shinoa coming in as well, trying to do something, but instantly deleted from La La Land. They find that one play, and there goes where the aggression pays off.
She's like, yes.
She's like, I risked it for the biscuit, and it paid off, Naisu. It paid off.
You know, that was a sigh of relief because Keria, like I said, man, most of the game, she has been struggling to get that that implosion off. And that's exactly what she was able to manage there. And that, that alone brings them into this position where they're controlling things now. They pretty much evened out the game. Even if you look at the gold, it's relatively just an even ball game at this point. Lord is top side now, so it's up to Smart Omega Empress to actually defend this with, the fact that they've been controlling the majority of this game. All the items that they have locked in, obviously, are going to help them clear this out pretty quickly. So we'll see what DreamHack Girls decides to do. Do they actually push this in, put the pressure on Smart Omega Empress? Lord's still half of the health here. It's going to be worked on. Feathered Airstrike comes down to forcing Shinoa back under half health. Even with that, the mid lane turret also going to be taken down. Still up for now, a couple hits away. Lord finally goes down. New Moon Blast will be charged up, but won't be committed. They lose that mid turret.
DreamHack Girls take the first inhibitor of this best of 2. 9-10. Gold lead, not too far ahead, just about 1,000 gold. Smart Omega Empress definitely still in the game, but we're starting to see the scaling of Aslan. We're starting to see the scaling of La La Land. And at this point, like I said, Keshi, not as valuable of a piece on the Julian. What's going to be important for Smart Omega is they're not going to be able to just brute force this anymore. They have to find the big set just like Kira did. They have to find that big Numion Blast or that big Earthshaker, something that can buy them just enough time that Shinoa can unload, something that can buy just enough time that Amore can unload. So let's see if they can pull this off. They're going to go back to just taking buffs. Things all back to a standstill. DreamHack Girls not trying to rush things. They stall the lanes. They move back, get their own jungle. And at this point, it feels kind of like a tied game.
I think if you look at, how the course of this game, the trajectory, if you will, for DreamHack Girls, they're happy with what they managed to get to this point. 16 minutes in, they're at even footing. Looking at the items too, they're exactly where they want to be. Some of these last items locked in. Also, a little more tanky items, especially for Hybridy and Icaria, because they have to replicate, they have to emulate what they just did. Going into the next objectives, we're 15 seconds away from that Lord coming up here, and that's why you have both teams, especially for Smart Omega Empress, kind of taking that step back, recalculating things, making sure that there is no pick off here. They want to go full force and fight this one out. Now, the advantage that DreamHack Girls has is, they can keep Aslan in the side lane. She can actually just go ahead and push in and, join the fight if she lands that Spirit of Destruction. And that's the thing. Anytime it's a Lord dance, a Lord take, it's easier to get that Spirit landed. But it looks like she's just going to make her way here for this Lord.
And a beautiful macro play. They push in the top lane. Down comes the Feathered Airstrike. A little bit of action.
A little bit of action. Flicker already used. Kyria doesn't have it this time. They had to clear the wave too, holding on to that top turret just barely. Wow, look at that damage again. So it looks like, even for DreamHack Girls, they're like, yeah, maybe we won't push this one just yet. Let's see what else we can find here.
I think losing that Feathered Airstrike that early was a bit of a misplay, kind of. Maybe they thought the real fight was going to happen, but Smart Omega Empress does a great job of just backing off, but still keeping vision, still letting them know, yeah, we're here just watching from outside the Feathered Airstrike. We're ready to jump in on this Lord Pit at any moment. DreamHack Girls knows they don't have a huge lead. Smart Omega knows that they don't have a huge lead. Even though they've taken a little bit of extra gold here, still it is not game-changing, but the big problem that's going to be for Smart Omega is that long lane up top, and Aslan is playing it so well. The macro, and it's like, who do they really send up there? I don't know if Amore is the right choice, because that's a slow mage to have to run back and forth.
Yeah, she's got to do the beauty pageant walk back to the Lord Pit pretty much, at this point. But she's clearing the waves. They're keeping it under control. They know part of it, too, for Smart Omega Empress. They can let, DreamHack Girls take this Lord, let it start up. It looks like they're just going to keep Aslan here, to go ahead and bring it down at least below half.
This is making me nervous right here. Everyone's sitting in the bush. It is a standoff right now. Aslan, I think, was hoping that he could hoping she could bait something out there, chipping away at the Lord a bit. But watch for Keshi. Watch for the possible steal here.
Okay, resets once again. Aslan's gonna get this. We've seen this. This is like the new
the tango.
Yeah, this is the new evolved Lord Dance. What do we call it? The tango?
The tango. And you know who tango's the best, right?
Ooh.
The Latin Americans.
That's true. That's true. If you want to learn, head on over there. Because right now it's just, that's what it is. Smart Omega Empress, they have something in mind as well, and it could just be a surprise play, a surprise pickoff. We always have to consider the situations of having conceals and playing the part, because Keria is also going to be trying to do that herself. And so with this, once again, you're going to see Aslan go ahead and make her move on the top side of these side lanes, putting the pressure there, forcing Amore to pretty much answer the call. You know, someone's got to answer the wave push, and that's the advantage of even just having that one base turret down in the mid lane that they can work around. But still, it's a stalemate for now, Trex.
Man, this game is bringing me back. It's making me feel good inside because right now it's a slow. I mean, it's a bit of a slow pace right now.
It's bringing you back.
It's bringing me back to, you know, the longer games, the good old days.
Hey, we did a 30-minute game earlier.
You did, and it was definitely hype. But that's what we're getting right now. You know, neither team is rushing. Both are very patient. DreamHack Girls playing the macro game. Smart Omega answering back with the macro game. It's not just two teams crashing for a Lord, seeing who comes out on top of the coin flip. I like it. I like the way both these teams are playing right now. Taking a look at some of these items, we did see Shanoa lock in the Wind of Nature. Expect some possible item juggling there. Some possibilities. On the side of Aslan, Aslan does not go for a super defensive item. It's just a gold meteor, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I saw Wind of Nature or an Immortality in there, anything like that. So a bit more aggressive there. And that could be the thing that changes the tide for either direction.
Keep an eye. Keria, placement, she's in. Once again, conceal play can be used. And there it is. Conceal already going to be used. Ice set goes in with the implosion. Going to find Keshi. Keshi taken out.
That's huge.
And now Shanoa trying to run for her life. Pops the Wind of Nature. Lord still a quarter of the health down. They could just take it. DMX is going to go ahead and start it up. And now they get the Lord Aslan. What a play. What a decision and a shot call from Keria.
This is how you tango. This is how you dance. DMX
that was a dance.
Showing up. That was a dance. That was a beautiful dance. But remember, the Pinoys created the Lord dance, and this is definitely not over just yet. A Lord is coming down. They still have Shanoa on the field. Let's take a look at that, though. Kira with some beautiful positioning in that side bush, hits the conceal play, comes in and finds the perfect target. Look at that smile. I love the reaction, and you said it. She was having some problems hitting those sets. Well, now she's on fire.
She's on fire, and now the base could possibly be on fire here for Smart Omega Empress. They have to clear out the Lord. The bottom turret's going to fall, and that one hit away from the top. Feathered Airstrike already going to be dropped as well. Trying to clear out the Lord, trying to manage these minions the best they can, and so far the base will be fully exposed. They want to fight back. They find Aslan. Numinal Blast can be used too. They still have to work through the Immortality, but Hybrid goes in once again with the penalty zone. She might just be the sacrifice to keep them alive. The base being worked on, supercharged minions through. They got to clear these out, manage the waves, but they got two from DMX.
Smart Omega Empress, don't lose it all that easy. In just a moment, a game could have turned around. If those minions weren't on the base and Smart Omega had the opportunity to chase down DreamHack Girls, it could have possibly been GG's. And even now, they're going to try to rush things down. It's a 5v3, Naisu.
They still got 30 seconds on Hybrid. Aslan up in 20. They're going to run it down the mid lane. Keria once again. Feathered Airstrike. Keria goes in with the implosion. Going to find a couple members, but Numinal Blast going to stop her in the tracks. Immortality will be popped as she goes down next. Eternal Guard already going to be worked on, but Smart Omega, they're looking to close out the game, but they don't have the minions just yet. Still, Aslan's back up. Hybrid just around the corner. That might be all they can get for Smart Omega Empress.
Okay, 23 minutes on the dot. We got us a game. Inhibitor down in the mid side for DMX. 3 inhibitors down for Smart Omega. Lord up in 50 seconds. Taking a look at the items. At this point, everyone is maxed out. The only one that needs one more is going to be Kara. I'm guessing we're going into a... what's it called? Magic Defense Shield. Athena Shield. I had the shield down.
Yeah, you had it.
Yes, and we're going into an Athena Shield. Gonna help with some of that burst damage. Already have the Radiance Armor. To stack it on top, we got the Blade Armor. But at this point, it does feel like Kira, even with any defensive items Kira brings, Shanoa's gonna shred through. Yeah. So Kira has to make sure that all counts. Just like she did the past 2 times, she has to make sure that implosion matters. And if Kira messes it up, it could spell GG's, right? Because you're kind of all in at that point. You go in, you pop the implosion, you're just a standing target at that point. So if Kira goes in and messes it up, that could be the end, because we're talking 70-second death counters at this point. We're talking a long wait till your tank is back on the field. So a lot of it could come down to this Lord. One of the advantages for DMX, though, is going to be that long lane once again. They have the stronger minions there because the inhibitor down for Smart Omega Empress, and they have Aslan consistently checking in on it.
Yeah, fully exposed base is the advantage that Dream Max Girls have. Again, Seal going to be used. They go and crash into the mid lane. Penalty zone. Going to find multiple targets. Nuno Blast to answer it through. A couple knockups more, and then the Eternal Guard is there on the front side. Kashi will be able to survive as they find a kill on Hybridy. And that might be enough. A numbers advantage for Smart Omega Empress, but still, Dream Max Girls are in position to make this a tough one to grab.
Yeah, with 55 seconds on the clock for Hybridy, Smart Omega Empress might try to close it up. The thing is they know that DreamX Girls still have a Retribution on the field, and they're not rushing it. And Kashi actually had to go back up to clear that wave. So I'm wondering, does this give enough time for DreamX Girls and minions back on the base? That's going to be such a tough thing to answer. And Kashi's like, do I go back? Do I go back to the Lord? I don't know which way to go. It's definitely becoming a problem for Smart Omega Empress. I think at this point you just commit to the Lord.
Looks like they're going to do just that, even though they take quite a bit of damage from the Lord themselves. Looks like the ladies want to take it slowly here. They don't want to overly commit. Even though there's a flicker not available for Keria, she's still going to put the pressure on them and make them second guess this. The one thing you have to watch out for too is where Aslan lands her spear. And Smart Omega Empress knows this. Conceal play going to be used. They're going to go ahead and find anyone they can. It's going to be Angelus, the one they go. Still have to get through that. Mortality Implosion comes down. Eternal Guard there too. Spear Destruction. She's not going to follow it up just yet. They get the stun out on Keria. They're chasing her down. They'll find the kill. Shinoa as well backs off, picks up the Wind of Nature. Takes some magic damage. La La Land will pick up and clean up the kill.
La 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 Land comes in to even the scoreboard. Kier was down. I thought it was over at that point. You start losing members this late in the game, and like I said, it is trouble, but taking out the marksman for a tank, it is a beautiful trade, and still minions continuously crashing at the base, forcing this from being a 4v4 to a 4v3 or a 4v2.
Oh, this is so tough. They might actually just lose the base there. They're still working on it. The minions have to be cleared. He's going in. He's going in. Aslan takes the lead and goes in with the spear and will win the game.
DMX, stop, drop, roll. They're coming in, they take the dub after taking a 2-0 sweep earlier on, take out Smart Omega Empress. But if we know the Filipinos, they're gonna be coming back strong.
Out on Hybridy, an option.
Yeah, because last time they had the option to ban out the X-Borg, right? So they really couldn't figure out a way to control that EXP lane, but with the X-Borg now picked in, now we all need to just circle back into the gold lane, right? So they already have one winning lane now for Smart Omega Empress. If they want to look for a comeback, how do they approach this? Tigreal is still left open if they want to go for it, but they're still going to go for the same approach, right? Luo Yi, they're trying to squeeze out La La Land.
Yeah. Less about squeezing her out or choking out her hero pool. It's more of just guiding her towards a pick that they're more comfortable
So
with.
picking your poison, essentially.
Yeah. Like, we'll let through the Farsa. I don't know if that's a play now. We'll let through the Vexana, but not the Luo Yi. Here we go now, DMX. Addressing the aforementioned Hayabusa. Trex and I were workshopping a Hayabusa trick earlier, and maybe because of the Julian early pick earlier, they blocked us out. Now we see the Zask! Alright. Already I understand, it's because it's a very DOT-heavy lineup. Look, you got a Terizla, a Baksha, Claude. Those want the fight to last forever. That's what you get with a Zask.
And again, like, Angela's been untouched, by the way.
Oh yeah!
No Angela pickup, no Angela ban.
I don't want an Angela for Omega here.
Can't.
Maybe DMX can play the Angela. Look, you can still put the Angela in mid. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, folks, 9 out of 10 times, you want the Angela in mid these days. You can't afford a roam Angela.
Okay.
Very
with that being
rare.
said,
Off stream, I do think Xayah from C9 did win with an Angela roam. Just an update.
I mean, technically, if you have a good setup hero like a Terizla, you could bring the Angela in the room, no?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a very specific set of parameters that allows for a roam Angela. But here's the Nolan. They're all attacking Keishi now. That leaves Keishi with Huh. What else is an assassin in the jungle?
Julian.
JJ's back. So yeah, I think it's okay. You have a mage in mid, and then you have the Julian, and then you have the carry. In before Bane. Oh. Although they're lacking setup for that. I'm just saying.
Ruby?
Not enough.
Not enough?
You need peel.
Okay.
Setup and peel.
So the Vexana does come through
But a boy could dream.
for DMX first. It was banned out in the first game. And now La La Land still has her hands on a very core mid laner with that burst damage and additional setup, right?
It was Amore who played the Vexana.
No, it was banned out.
No, she played Vexana.
Oh.
Yes.
So it was taken away from her.
It was Val and Loyi.
Ah, you're right,
That's
you're
why
right.
the Farsa was pushed through. So now you're wondering, there
Oh,
it is!
there it is!
I don't know why that came out, I'm sorry.
I love it.
But it's a roam, Angela. You're right. You have to have a very specific set of things to check off, which is one, good setup in the Terizla, and two, chunky frontliners. So
That's, yeah.
Terizla, yeah, okay. And the Eternal Guard. Extra
Just to
layers.
put it out there.
Extra layers, yeah. So now what does Keishi play?
That's the question.
Uh,
Fanny. no,
Julian.
can't.
Would you?
No.
No. Although there is no hard lock. There are soft locks,
You
but
could go Alpha.
Alpha's good. Fighter junglers then. Bane. Or
Julian.
just Julian. Stick to it. All right, you got true damage, you got magic, and a solid amount of utility. All right, Smart Omega Empress. Maybe they can even out.
How do you feel about this?
I'm scared!
You're scared? What about you casters? Are you guys scared as well?
I've never been scared in my life, Eterna. Last MSC, I was a little bit scared. Shout out to Leo with the roam. Angela! Naisu, are you ready for this game?
I'm ready, man. You know, after what we saw from the previous game, I'm rather surprised from DMX or DMG. You know? DMG.
Damage.
From damage, yeah, as Cheryl said. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's got to be some readjustments to this to take it to a 1-for-1. But I do feel like, you know, with this lineup from Smart Omega Empress, they've done that. So let's see if the execution's going to be there.
All right, let's jump into the land of Dawn. DMX trying to claw their way out of that -2 on the scoreboard and even the playing field. Smart Omega Empress, though. You can never count out the Filipinos. They're okay with taking a slow start to things. They've been coming out on top for a very long time. And even last game, they had the game in the bag for a while there, but just went a little too far. Will time repeat itself? Will Smart Omega tie this up?
You know, even when you look at that previous game, it's like you still gotta appreciate and respect the fact that DreamHack girls were able to go ahead and play around the fact that they were at a deficit. They managed to get it back, they evened things out, and then they trumped the Smart Omega Empress team here with a macro play. You know, they exposed the base, they went in and got it, and so maybe there's going to be a lesson learned there already for this, for Smart Omega Empress, but for DreamHack girls, you know, this lineup that they have here, very interesting. Even with the Angela pick, already in the mid lane, you can see the damage potential that they can do early on. I would say, you know, I want to see, especially with Keria here in the Angela, we've seen her run the focusing mark so much. I mean, just Angela players in general. And this time again, she goes in pure rage to work through this. And I think that sustainability might be enough to kind of help this lineup. Now, biggest part of this is Aslan has to farm up. She's got to get this Claude online fast as possible because of the timings from Smart Omega Empress for this game.
Yeah, I mean, we got the Impure Rage, Concussive Blast as well from Angelus to help kind of stack up some damage from the whole team. It just shows that DreamHack girls want to be aggressive here. Aslan as well. Going to be a fast girl moving along this field, but Shanoa seems to always be kind of getting the better, at least in the laning phase, really showing up in terms of just the 1v1. Aslan seems to be doing a little better in terms of the team fights once they're able to group up. But now, first turtle already going over to Smart Omega Empress. It's very similar to last game, just kind of controlling the map in this laning phase.
Oh, that's tough. Aslan, okay. She's gonna be all right. She gets out, she pops the Purify, just forced out of the lane too. Flicker from Carrion, penalty zone 2 to catch Amore. They might be able to get the kill here. She goes out, but she can't get away. Hybridy will get the first blood. Good response there from DreamHack Girls to not let Smart Omega Empress push this lane any further.
All right, so DreamHack Girls make a nice play into the boss side. Push back onto Shinoa here. Still a lot lost. I think a whole wave lost there for Aslan. Gonna give Shinoa a little bit of a lead here. The kill does go over to Hybridy, which is going to be huge. Hybridy rotated all the way from the top side for that. I just noticed, I'm like, wait.
Taking a journey.
The EXP laner came all the way to top side. Gonna need to play catch up a little bit with not Ayanami. So back in the boss side, Omega Emperor still looking for ganks.
Oh, here on the bottom side, Murray primed and ready. They're gonna go in with I'm Offended, and the clash down, Carrier taken out. Aslan's still gonna be alive. She gets out with her life, but Smart Omega Empress gonna be happy with the 1 kill pickup there.
Aslan's good at surviving, man. No matter what Smart Omega Empress brings down to that gold lane, Aslan has been able to slip through the cracks, and as long as Aslan is able to continue doing that, it may be okay. Yes, they're losing a lot of gold, but we've seen that DreamHack Girls is okay with bringing it to the late game. But I want to think that, wait a second, a little bit of action on the boss side. Kira gets taken out off camera. Now, Smart Omega Empress, I thought about it before this game started. I think the big goal is we're not going to let this get to the end game. We're going to get this early game lead and capitalize. And look at the big play onto Hybridy. Last Insanity almost takes her out.
Okay, they don't pick anything up there, but still, what's happening here, Trex, is they're putting pressure everywhere on the map. I'm Offended going to be used too. Eternal Guard going to be dropped down, but now in the battle for the mid lane, Aslan goes in with the Blazing Duet. We'll push them back a little bit further. They might still go up and follow up through with this. Multiple members low here from Smart Omega Empress. Turtle's still going to be ignored for now. They're going to go back to base, heal back up, and get ready for that objective. But it looks like, you know, Aslan, this is what I was wondering is, how will she play this Claude? How will she go ahead, scale this up? Because it's a little different. I mean, when you have the Moskov, you can always rely on the fact that, hey, you know what, if you guys are fighting it out, there's a good chance I can join the fight. You know, so part of that is how is she going to rotate and push this tempo on the Claude pick?
I mean, it's definitely not as good, but there's still decent rotations from a Claude. As long as you can keep that passive going, you're going to move faster, you're going to shoot faster, you're going to be able to use the BMI to get around, but a little bit of an engage around the turtle pit.
Okay. Again, good usage. This is the strength also of having a heart guard, especially on a tanky hero like Angelus. They know that ultimate's down now, though, so I'm not sure if DreamHack Girls will actually want to go ahead and take the objective. They're just going to focus on these resources for now, get the buffs. They might still be ready, but Smart Omega Empress, like I'm saying, they built this gold lead on a lot of the macro decisions they've made so far. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and start with the turtle too, and they possibly just take it as they do. Angela's too late. And this is what we're talking about with timings. You know, the timings of the ultimates, the timings, especially when the heart guard is down, you know you have that information for Smart Omega Empress.
Yeah, and Empress are so good at getting maximum value out of everything they do. Even there, they split up. They send 2 members to the mid tower. No, they don't take the mid tower, but they get about 50% damage onto it. Plus sending up Keshi to go take the turtle. So they get a lot out of that little play there, and they're always min-maxing.
Now they're gonna go for this once again, min-maxing. The damage goes through, and Carrion in trouble too, as it's a double for Shinoa. Heart guard not going to be enough to keep them from going down in the exchange. They get the turret as well. And so this is already the snowball effect that happens here for Smart Omega Empress, now getting themselves a 4,000 gold ahead. They're going to get this mid turret as well. Moving around the map as they please. That's the strength they have.
Oh yeah, patience is out the window for Smart Omega Empress. Shinoa 4-0-0. Aslan can't even farm her own waves right now. She's gonna have to go all the way to bot lane just to get a little bit of gold into her pocket, and that means they gotta sacrifice this tier 2 on the top side, and they're not gonna stop. They're gonna maybe even try to push in onto that inhibitor. DreamHack Girls gotta send someone up.
This is 7 minutes. Shield's already gonna pop on the base turret. You know, what do you do here if you're DreamHack Girls? I feel like they woke the beast with what happened in the previous game, because Smart Omega Empress comes out in this game just full on force. I'm offended. Ooh. Okay. I think they're going to disengage, but again, this is a very dominant early portion of the game.
You know, I think right now the record for the third item in on a marksman is about 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes. Shanoa's about to get it in at 7:30 maybe. If we see that third item, I think this time Shanoa's not going for the magic sword or whatever, the first half of Rose Gold Meteor.
Rose Gold, yeah.
Just going straight into DHS, and I saw most of it already built, so I'm waiting for that item to pop up any second now.
All right. I'm not sure if they get this. Oh, they do. They get that shield as well. So DreamX Girls hold on to the one turret there with the shield. Bottom side, third turtle of the game is up. Smart Omega Embers complete control so far of anything they want across the map. That Lord is going to spawn now, though. And, you know, given that whole situation, you know, you're talking about 6,000 gold ahead. You already talked about the item lead that Shanoa has, and I mean, you can't do anything if you're DreamX Girls at this point except to get ready for the defense. And now when you're looking at it, how do you defend against this? Aslan, like you said, she has not been able to farm up on this Claude much at all, and it's going to be difficult. You almost have to use your Blazing Duet for the defense to clear the waves and hope that you hold on to what you can for the base. Once that Lord starts coming down, taking a look at the items, I mean, just got a corrosive sight. That's it.
3,000 gold lead, 3,300 gold lead, 3-level lead at that. Shanoa is just doing everything, and hold on, Keshi's just like, listen, this is min-maxing, man. This is min-maxing. We don't build full items. We take the pieces, get a whole lot of damage.
We just go Holy Crystal.
Holy Crystal.
Usually the timing
Holy
on that, by the way,
moly.
yeah, it's holy moly time, because 11 minutes is usually that timing on that Holy Crystal. Right now, looking to this base, I'm offended, not going to land on Hybridy, but they're going to watch the turret get whittled down here. Still, Lord hasn't made it even to the base just yet, so they'll go ahead. Turret still stands for a little bit longer, but Smart Omega Empress, they've done this time and time again. They'll wait for the Lord. They'll wait even possibly to start a fight here. Divine Glaive picked up by La La Land. Is that enough damage? Is that enough penetration to deal with this lineup from Smart Omega Empress? There's the pull in through. Last Insanity going to be used, but already Hybridy going to be taken down. Heartguard goes on top. Aslan there, but what can she do? She doesn't have enough items. Lord still has to be worked on. Turret's already going to be down. Smart Omega Empress might just push it in. They make their way to the bottom turret. Still, Angelus holding down the front side, and La La Land will fire back. That might be all they get for now, unless the next waves, they make their move. Murray has the I'm Offended available. If they can get one pick off here, they might end the game before the 11-minute mark. The charge in goes, but they can't find the connection with the I'm Offended, and that might be a defense for DreamX Girls.
That's going to be huge. A good opportunity, but if we take anything from last series, having an open base is a problem. What makes it even more of a problem this time, Naisu? Smart Omega Empress haven't lost a single tower.
Yeah.
Haven't lost anything. They've only taken one death at this point, and they've taken all of this material away from DreamX Girls, only getting 5 kills. I mean, just the macro game, the stepping on the gas here, knowing this is how we got to do this, and they are comfortable with it. They're completely shown. Let's look at the damage dealt. Vexana right now, 22,000. Xborg and Carry falling right behind Shanoa. We give another couple minutes. Shanoa's going to be sitting on top of that board, very likely.
Yeah, I mean, you know, even for not Ayanami, the fact that she's second on the damage department, she's able to just kind of pop the last Insanity, get that damage off, the true damage there, and it's such a threat because, you know, typically DreamX Girls with the lineup that they have, they want to kind of bunch up, you know, play around even the penalty zone. We saw it in that base defense. Penalty zone was used, but then, you know, you follow up, and what happens? You pretty much get obliterated. So it looks like DMX is going to go ahead and try to fight this one out, and look at that, Hybridy! She's gone!
She's gone. No more. Au revoir, as the French would say.
Yes.
Now, DreamX Girls, I don't know if that was the play. I was thinking maybe they go for the cheeky Lord steal here just because you're in a really bad position and you might not be able to survive this Lord. But Hybridy isn't the one with the retribution. Angelus is, and I don't know if that was the right approach. It's 8 seconds on the board. Hybridy will be able to get back up just in time, but Smart Omega Empress might not even wait for the Lord.
Couple defensive items picked up here for Smart Omega Empress. They want to go ahead and end the game even without the Lord if they can. They punch it into the base. They're going to go in another penalty zone, but they grab him, grab her, and now Heartguard already going to be used too, but Hybridy will fall. Penalty zone from Omore to follow up Minions still need to be cleared, though. Lord is not there. That might be all that Smart Omega Empress gets once again. They wait up. They got the buffs as well from DreamHack Girls. They got 18 seconds for Hybridy to be up. Will she make it in time? A couple low health bars here for Smart Omega Empress, but Conceal going to be used. They push back Keria. Lord gets pulled down to the bottom side. They try to keep it there at bay, but Angelus will go down, and Last Insanity once again finds the mark, and Smart Omega Empress will take the game.
Smart Omega Empress showing that they are not a team to be tampered with, not a team to be looked down on.
Yeah.